So naturally, changing a few fuel lines, it was going to be simple and cheap, has escalated, as you can see. I had an issue with the fuel tank, bit more investigation, and yeah, it had to come out, had to be replaced. Not a job I was wanting to do or expecting to do, but classic car restoration. So I'll go over basically what's happened. So the tank is off. I had one snap bolt and a few rusty screws I'll need to replace. Doesn't look too bad on the shell underneath it. This, however, is well overdue a change. Apart from the snap bit, it's starting to rot, and yeah, it's just not good. So I've taken this off. I've laid it side by side with the new one. I'll do a walk around with a small camera. I've not went into much detail of taking it off. In fact, I've not went into any detail at all. Few reasons. I'm against the weather. I'm waiting on the bad weather coming, and once that's there, I'm going to have to put a cover on and park the T25 for the year. So I'm trying to do as much as I can just now to get it ready for an MOT. My other camera, I'm having a few audio issues as well, so I'm just having to try and work with what I've got at the moment. Frustrating, but still doable. So yeah, here's the stage here. I can get this and work on this inside. I can take off what I need to get, and now I can order what parts I need to get the renewables, and I'll have pretty much a brand new fuel system right up into the engine bay. So yeah, next stage for me is cleaning all this off, seeing what hoses I got, what parts I need, what plastic parts, and I'll replace where need be. For those that are not familiar with T25s, the fuel tank is located at the front underside, and this is an image here of when it was first dropped. It's not particularly difficult removing it. It can be fiddly and the access isn't great, but other than that it wasn't too bad. The tank is held in by these retaining panels. One end hitches over the chassis and the other lifts up and is bolted in place. These are the refurbed panels as I done them. Unfortunately, the panels, when I took them off, I lost quite a bit of footage, so I just don't have that to show you. Once the straps were removed, that gave me access to the hoses and the fuel sender to remove them. Once they were all removed, I could then just lower it out of the way, and that's basically where the footage for me in this video starts. We can have a closer look at the fuel tank now. So the outlet here should come to about here. So we're probably missing about 20mm off it, and obviously trying to get a hose on here just wasn't safe, and it wasn't happening. And I suppose it's a blessing in disguise, because once I took it off you can then see the rest of the tank is flaking away, so it was a matter of time. So yeah, it had to go. I've spent a few hours today building up the new fuel tank, all the rubber hoses and all the fixings. Again, apologies I've not filmed it, I'm just trying to get on with it as quick as I can. What have I been doing? This is new, the breather that goes from these clips to these clips, they're all new as well. All these hoses are all new. The last ones, I'm sure you can see, the last ones were really brittle, falling to bits, and they've been no use. So no point replacing everything else and leaving that. The sender, I was going to use the old sender because to be honest it works, it's fine, but I thought if I put it back on, it did feel a bit brittle inside. The thought of taking it all back off again down the line just didn't seem worth it for me for the sake of £40 I think it was. So that's on. I've also got some foam stripping to basically stop any vibrations, and yeah, it's all together. This bit I can't attach just now because it has to go through the chassis and then attach, so that'll be fun lying on my back. But other than that, this is ready to go back on. So a few tips I found when doing it. The sender, there's quite a good video online with that. This is quite awkward to go on because it's an aftermarket tank. The tabs are all quite flat, so it just makes it so much easier getting a pair of pliers slightly bending up the leading edge so that it fits under and it goes in. Basically with a screwdriver here, twist it easy. Without that it can be really awkward. These fittings are very tight fitting, especially when the rubber goes onto the plastic here. So what I've done was just heat up with a heat gun, not for long, goes on and they're solid, they're not coming off. So yeah, that's ideal as well. Bearing in mind these is plastic and stuff, so you have to be careful how much heat you're putting in, same with this. But yeah, so this is ready to go back in the van. The only two bits that still need to go on is the breather here and the fuel filler neck here, which I have still got to refurb because they look horrible. This is split, this is black tape, and this is old white paint. So I've got that to refurb with the parts I've got there. I'll grab the little Karma just now. I'll show you under the van. I've just put a bit of under seal on where this is going to cover. It's not pretty, but I've got rid of the surface rust, treated that, put the under seal on. Basically means when this is back on it's all protected underneath. So yeah, I'll go into the small Karma and just show you that just now. Before the under seal, you will see from this footage that was really good underneath. Slight surface rust, which I'm going to treat and under seal, but I was really pleased that I didn't need to get the welder out for this section. And yeah, a pleasant surprise, but no surprise because the van is overall in a good condition, especially on the underside. And here it is after being under sealed. Not a job I enjoyed, lying underneath painting with paint and pour 15 dripping on my head, but it needed done basically, because once the fuel tank is back in place this area is not going to be seen or accessible, so it was worthwhile doing just now, and it's just going to give it years of protection, and it saves that fuel tank coming out again anytime soon. Next on my refurb parts list is the filler neck, which is quite grotty, but I'm hoping most of this will clean off and I'll replace the top bits. The plastic itself's fine. Also the brackets that hold the fuel tank in place, they're actually not too bad. They're starting to get some surface rust up here, so again there's no harm in putting paint on them, albeit these were tight, the ends, when I took them off. So I'll be putting quite thin paint on that. Once they're on I can top it up, but yeah. So that's the plan just now off camera. Again, sorry. I'm going to go and get all this cleaned up, all this painted. Okay, a few weeks later, this is dry. I'm happy with the underseal on this. And at a later date I can always give another coat once it's on, but this underbody seal I've got on this takes ages to dry, so it's dry. I'm going to leave it just to get this refurb now, get the paint off here and get the new parts fitted and the new filler tube as well. So I'm going to do all that, and then hopefully the sun's shining today, so hopefully I'm going to get the tank back in. I'll jump back to you when I've got this looking in a bit better state than it currently is. This is now all refurbed. I've got a few new bits to go on. The fuel tank is fully fitted, all the lines connected. Very fiddly due to access, but doable. Next on my list, when I have time, this panel here is all rotten. I knew it was rotten at the bottom. It was only when I took the filler neck off I realised that it had been silicone sealant sticking, and yeah, this is all going away. I don't know how deep that goes, so I'm going to need to cut away and treat underneath what I need to treat and get this replaced. I do have a panel there. So I already know it was rough down here. When I took the mudguard off, this all fell away, and it's all been stuck on with filler, mastic, whatever this stuff is. So yeah, I know all down here and here has to be replaced, but I'm going to take the paint off along here to see how much actually needs to be done. I've also, as you see, covered up the filler neck so no debris or rust goes into the new tank. And this is a good time to do this because otherwise it's a new tank, there's no fuel in the system. Welding here next to a petrol tank's never a good idea. All good along here, no rust, bubbling. Good metal starts kind of here all the way along. As you can see, this is all rotten. I don't know what the seam's going to be like. I'll have to deal with that once I get this panel cut out. It's rotten at the bottom, so I'm going to replace the bottom. So basically this bit here, and here. So I'm going to cut along here, and down here, and up here. And it's a nice smaller panel if you like to replace. Plus once I'm in, I'll get in and do repairs on the underside. So yeah, get cutting now. So I'm quite pleased. There are a few areas at the bottom that I've cut out that I'll need repairs on the inner wing, but all down here on this panel is solid, which is good because I was worried I was going to have to make repairs on there to then weld the outer wing on. So yeah, I'll do a once over with the little camera at this stage, but it's the usual cardboard cutouts, metal weld, prepare, and yeah, get it all back to normal. So, as you can see, the weather's beat me. We're now into December, countdown to the festivities, so the repair is finished. It's been topped up with fuel, started, runs good. Still a few bits and pieces I need to do before I look at the MOT, but as far as that goes just now, yeah, I'm done for the year with Lucky Bonzo. He will be getting treatment again when the weather gets better in the spring, and then I can look at an MOT then. But until then, I'll be moving back into the garage to work on the minis, so I'll be bringing content for that in the new year. So, I'm pleased with the way this went. It still needs touched up with paint, blended in a bit better, but in terms of the repair, the replacement, everything is as it went, so that's always a good thing. So yeah, I will end that one there. I'll say thanks for watching, take care, and I'll see you in the next video next year. Cheers! I'll be having some fun over the festive period, so I hope you all have a very nice Christmas and a happy New Year, and I'll see you next year. Cheers!